Derek Myers, the teammate of Gerald West. Oh, and the 98 of Jerry Glenn's just gone round. I think that was off the bumper of Logan Lansford. And that is going to give the advantage to Gerald West here on the outside line. But can they hold it? That is the question. Did they make their move too soon? Thomas Harmon sitting there just in behind them. He moves up. Derek blocks. He moves down. Derek blocks again. And we have contact. Derek Myers goes round. The win is going to Thomas Harmon. Thomas Harmon wins this race. P2 goes to Brian Harris. P3 to Logan Lansford.
Right.
What an incredible... At the moment, it is Brian Bateman in the lead of this race in the 83 car. And it's not a bad looking car. Like, this is actually one of the cars that I really rate as far as paint schemes go. It's nice and it's simple. It's black with the silver trim down on the bottom of the car. It just looks nice and classic, Brian.
Yeah, definitely a simple looking paint scheme, reminiscent of Dale Earnhardt Sr. with the black. You know, you see that black car come up in your rear view, you know, you better watch out.
That's exactly right. He wasn't the Intimidator. Hello everyone and welcome to the Atlanta Motor Speedway and welcome to the Jayme Rocks 154 right here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And yeah, Atlanta. A lot of people love this place. A lot of people hate this place. The trucks are a little bit squirrely, especially on cold tires. So let's go in and have a look at how these guys are doing. Now, normally I'll make an announcement in the text channel for these guys that I want to do a broadcasted pit party. I'm going to let them figure it out by themselves this time. As we briefly saw the four of Jaron Sanchez. Here's Ray Zerkart, Corey Williamson as well. Is it just me or if paint's not loaded? Does he go? Feels weird, man. But we already have a fantastic field of cars sitting here in the track. Just bring up some official stats for us. A little bit glitchy in the background. That wasn't very good. So at the moment we have 19 cars registered to race, 20 people in the server. Strength of field at the moment is a 2675, which is very encouraging numbers. Jonas Marquez currently sitting on top of the totem pole with a 31.185. P2 is currently Brian Pizzicami. P3 is Thomas Harmon. And P4 is Matt Burgess, John Lozelle in 5th. We've only got 16 people registering time so far. But that should change shortly, with a few people getting out there and getting some laps in. As around goes Thomas Harmon. Not sure whether he got a bump or not there. But these trucks are very difficult to drive around here. Like, you've got to be throttle control the whole way. And I'm also hearing that this could possibly be a fuel mileage race too, which definitely makes things interesting. Corey Williamson and Matt Horton have a bit of a bingle. And someone must have forgotten to tell Matt to change his paint. Still sitting there with the 89 on his car. Unless I just need to refresh the paints. No, it definitely still says 89 on his car. I don't know why he doesn't just change his number to 89. I don't think anyone has it. It's Brian Pizzicami, currently P3. Behind him is John Lozelle, just going around them is Sam Niederhelm. Sam currently in 15th. There's Matt Burgess. Currently sitting in P6. Does he improve this time? What does he do? 31.198, which actually moves him up into 4th, and then dethroned down to 5th as Matt Horton in the 89.33 moves up to 1st. No, I'm just going to say 33.89. It sounds better. And I hope someone's yelling at him that he's got his paint wrong. Yeah, trading paint says everything's up to date. So, he's got the wrong paint. There's poor Jaron Sanchez just in front of Brian Pizzakemi. And Carl Kraus going for a crash. Sanchez having a half lose. And Thomas Harmon joining the fray with Jonas Marquez. And a nice little love tap to finish things off between the two. Oh, Mark Penskoff having a spin. That's in the middle of 3 and 4. I do hope these guys figure out that they should be doing a pit party here soon. Good to see them getting all grouped up and trying to figure it out as a pack. There's a 10 of Alexandra Butters. And it looks like we might be getting a pit party. The majority of the cars are in the pit lane. Ken Campbell. Matt Burgess making his way down the pit lane. And they are indeed rolling for the pit party. So Brian Pizzakemi has actually captured top spot here with a 31.132. Beating out Matt Horton, John Lazelle, Jonas Marquez, and Jaron Sanchez now as your top 5. All right, here we go for the pit party. They're off and racing. And get wheel spin in second gear here, so everyone's just taking a little bit easier on the start. Multiple grooves of racing here at Atlanta, at least on the starts. There's one's in the wall. Who that is. Van Niederhelm's in the wall. There goes Travis Massier for a spin into the pit lane. Oh, maybe not to the pit lane, just to the grass on the apron there. Apparently, iRacing just wants to keep focusing on him. There we go. A lot of very squirrely cars out there. Oh, loose for 12, Matt Burgess. Into the inside wall he goes. Going back towards outside line and had to pull it up. These camera angles are weird just because some of them are louder than others. Let's see if we can get some close-up views of some of these cars in practice. The sounds here a little bit. If we got sounds that coming through, that is. Yeah, I didn't fall asleep. We're back. Had to go for a stretch. It woke me up a little bit. There's Matt Horton running side by side with Brian Chambliss. Let's get the 61 of TJ Crampton running side by side with last week's winner, Ken Campbell. Ken will be hoping for similar results here tonight. Where's Ken sitting at the moment? He's only down in 12th. Well, let's hope Ken hasn't peaked with his performance at Phoenix. Quite a few guys just on the track spread out a little bit, and no one's really grouped up too much. Also just two-car tandem kind of stuff going on. We're experimenting with alternate lines as well. Before Jaron Sanchez goes for a spin. Matt Horton, Brian Chambliss still on track together. Chambliss currently P2, Horton P3. These two working well together at the moment to achieve their speed. The 61 and the 15, Crampton and Campbell. Crampton running the Speedway Memes Motorsports logo on the car. Group. We've got the 4 of Sanchez, we've got the 21 of Chambliss, we've got the 10 of Alexandra Butters, we've also got the 3389 of Horton. Thomas Harmon's going to jump on the back of this group by the looks of things, or at least towards the middle of it. 3 wide in the 3 and 4 they go. And Chambliss lost out there. You see Harmon start to pull away from these guys a little bit as he's got the much fresher tyres on board. These two resume to having their own little race with each other. So Pisacami's still on top with a 31-1-3-2. And it's Chambliss with a 1.54, tying Matt Horton actually 1.54. Lozelle with a 1.57 in 4th, and Marquez with a 1.80 in 5th. Oh, and that's the fence for Chambliss. Running that high line is definitely a risk. He took it. Didn't quite work out for him though. There are 21 cars registered to race. A few people who haven't set lap times yet. strength of field is 26.94. To Chris Champeau. He's one of the two who haven't put down a lap time yet. The other one is Mitchell Bressy. So we'll see what Mr. Champeau can do here. Comes through with a 31.513. And unfortunately, that's only good enough for last. Looks like everyone is in the pits. We're going to get another pit party out of the way here. The front row is going to be Kyle Kraus. On the outside, on the inside is going to be TJ Crampton. We've got Massieu and Lizelle on row 2. The Sanchez on row 3 with Watson. Inside lane is definitely a big advantage going into 1 and 2. Oh, and sideways and into the inside wall goes Matt Burgess. Oh, and we've had the huge one here in practice. The entire field's been caught up, and I think it was because of something that happened with Crampton. That was massive. Kraus coming in for his pit stop. Looks like we'll be about ready to go on another pit party here, unless people are just going out and doing whatever. We only have about 3.5 minutes left in practice. Some of these drivers will be thinking about doing a mock qualifying run. Others just wanting to run with the pack. Alright, here we go. Another pit party attempt. This time it's Sanchez on the pole. He's got Carl Kraus on his outside. Three wide in the mid-pack. That's always dangerous. Turning to four wide briefly, and around goes Williamson off the nose of Needhelm. Looked like Pizzacami and Masia were involved. On Harmon's getting shafted right now in the 60 of Kraus into the 21 of Chambliss. Chanzel making a move inside Chris Champeau. Around went Sanchez and the 61. DJ Crampton. But we are going to go to a quick commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to be seeing the results of qualifying. So make sure you guys stay tuned. There's racing action coming up very shortly. Welcome back to the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Jayme Rocks 154 here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel. Jonas Marquez has pulled out pole position from the deepest, darkest depths of his ass, and he'll be leading us away here. Ray Zerkat in the 18 car will be starting out of P2. We're going to have John Lozelle in the 23 starting out of P3. We've got Kyle Kraus starting out of P4 in the 60. Thomas Harmon will be out of P5, the 38 car, with Ken Campbell in the 15 car starting out of P6. P7 will be the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez as he just pops into existence, with P9 being the P8 being the 2 of Chris Champeau. P9 will be the 4 of Jaron Sanchez, with P10 being the 21 of Brian Chambliss. We're going to have Matt Burgess in 11th, Matt Horton 12th, TJ Crampton out of 13th, James Watson 14th, Alexandra Butters in 15th, Mark Pentecoff P16, we've got Mitchell Bressie out of 17th, Travis Massia out of 18th, Brian Pizzakemi, Sam Niederhelm, and Corey Williamson wrapping up 19th, 20th, and 21st. The 21 cars to tackle this race, 22 people in this server, with myself included. Strength of the field is a 26.94. I'm just waiting for everyone to get gridded and the pace car to roll off, which he just does. Pace speed is 65 around here. 65 miles an hour, that is. The first start will be on the green. Any restarts will be on the leader. All 21 trucks. Remember, there's also very stringent starting procedures with the Airport Racing League to maintain less than 2 truck lengths gap between everyone. Can't swap lanes before the start finish line. Can't pull out of line before the start finish line either. Well, unless obviously to avoid a crash. But here we go. Pace car is in. And we're off and racing here for the Jayme Rocks 154 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And Zerkat already getting a big advantage in that outside lane. That's going to come back to Jonas Marquez here in 1 and 2 a little bit, as they're getting wound up on the outside of Zerkat. What a lead he's got coming out of turn 2. And that is definitely going to put a damper on Marquez's performance here, as he slips back to 3rd behind Kyle Kraus. First lap already in the books. Seems to be a little bit glitchy today. Or in fact, a lot glitchy today. Seeing if there's anything I can turn off and maybe make it a little bit better, but I guess not. Kyle Kraus leading the way from Ray Zerkat right now. We'll go 2 by 2 for the first 4 positions here through turn number 2. You see in the background, Brian Pizzacami trying to make up some positions after starting pretty deep in this field. Durkut definitely trying to make that outside lane work for him. It seems that right now Marquez is playing the part of cork in the bottle. Everyone's right up on his tail. So in saying that, John Lozelle just moving into the outside lane. Things are looking pretty calm right now. Like they're still going 2 by 2 here towards the front. There's definitely a little bit of calmness coming over them as they're going 2 by 2. And no one's really too desperate for position. See Thomas Harmon now moving into the outside lane, away from Marquez and Kraus. And that little bit of a glitchiness is really going to annoy me this race. I can just see it now. I don't even know what's causing it. That's how bad it is. Through 3 and 4, they go one more time. Thomas Harmon now trying to make his way through this little group. Currently sitting back in the 17th position. Sorry, the 7th position. 8th position. 7th. I'll get it right one of these days. Words are hard. The pole sitter, John Lozelle, after being on pole, all the way back to 9th, possibly 10th now, as Jaron Sanchez, league owner and operator, is looking around his outside. We do currently have a battle going on for P2 and Ken Campbell and the 2 of Chris Champeau. Ken Campbell showing some of that form from last week where he got the win at Phoenix. Still side by side they go. Now for 3rd as Chris Champeau is clean and clear in 2nd place. This definitely looks like the lowest line is not the place you want to get stuck. Everything's definitely seeming very calm right now. Like the calm before the storm. Go and have a look at Brian Chambliss, who's just in behind this group. Hernandez up here trying to make some moves. He's trying to chase on the tail of one Mr. John Lazelle. And Campbell now. Both of them having a little bit of a fall from Grace Campbell, who was up there towards the front end earlier. Now dropping back to, what's that, P8, 7. Kyle Kraus trying to defend against the 21 of Brian Chambliss. All this little battling is going in behind the leaders is allowing Zercut and Campo to get away a little bit. Everything now has gone single filed out. We're nearing the quarter way mark in this race. Because these laps feel like they just drag out that little bit longer than what they do at Phoenix. Got similar lap times, you know, high 20s, low 30s. starting to get a little bit more driving now. Everyone's picking up the pace ever so slightly. A lot of guys will be saving and stuff as well. Saving fuel, saving tyres. This could end up becoming a fuel mileage race. Right, since we're just about at the quarter-way mark, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be continuing on and waiting for green flag stops. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And we are back. Jayme rocks 154 here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Matt Horton making big moves on the outside. Picked up quite a few positions in the last couple of laps, just rim riding the top line. And now he's moved his way all the way up to third. Quite a few other drivers trying that out as well, including the 15 of Ken Campbell, last week's winner. A battle on for lead between Chambliss and Harmon. Harmon just took the lead from Chambliss. I reckon we're going to keep an eye on this battle going on back here because pretty willing stuff going on. I think someone hit the wall at some point. But we do have a slow car still up against the wall. Oh no. The wall master himself, the 61 of TJ Crampton. And he is done going out of there. Battle still rages on here in the middle part of the top 10. Ray Zerkat currently holding on to P6. He's got Jaron Sanchez right on his tail. Matt Burgess is there as well. And Sanchez and Burgess have a very storied history. It looks like Burgess is actually handling that low line really well. Big John Lozelle up there as well in the 3. Burgess just with the splitter ahead. Horton has taken over second position. Got half a second of Thomas Harmon in the lead. Injecting some new life into this race. Now it looks like things start to calm down again once more. Thomas Harmon leading this way, and by 0.7 of a second over Matt Horton. Let's do that thing that we did in practice. We put it on camera one and just listen to these cars rolling around here a little bit. Sounds pretty sick, honestly, when you get the right camera angle. And my, how the turntables have turned. Matt Horton leading this race once more. Looks like we've got a resumption of battle stations over here behind these guys as well. 12 of Matt Burgess sitting in 5th as the 2 of Chris Champeau came back to this group. Sanchez now looking for a way around. You've got the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi in this as well. 23 of John Lozelle just lurking in the background waiting for his opportunity. Sanchez battling side by side now with Pizzacami. Sanchez with the advantage, getting the draft off of Matt Burgess. Go in and check on our leaders. These guys are staying single filed out at the moment. Yeah, not too terribly much going on here. Go back and focus on that battle for 5th. That Burgess still leading the way for it. Sanchez still right on his tail. Looked like for a second then Pizzacami was going to try and make the move on Sanchez. Thought better of it as they went to the tri-oval. Looks like this battle starting to fizzle out here a little bit now. Go back in to check in on our leaders. Thomas Harmon right on the tailgate of Matt Horton. And we're almost at the halfway point, so some of these drivers will be thinking about pit stops soon. We also have a lap car up ahead of these guys a little bit. This is the 81 of Corey Williamson. He's quite a fair way off the pace. Looks like we might be having a battle for 10th going on right now. We do. Kyle Kraus in the 60. Got Alexandra Butters in the 10. We've got the 99 of Michael Bressi. And the 66 of Sam Niederhelm. This could potentially be a battle that lasts quite a while. As the leaders have all gotten around 81 and Corey Williamson quite nicely. And it looks like Butters is going to take on the role of P10. Oh, Sam Niederhelm gets a little bit tight through 1 and 2. Actually, no, it was 3 and 4, my apologies. We had someone pulling off to the pits. That was the 23 of John Lozelle. Going for the pit stop. flurry of pit stops happening now. Thomas Harmon leading the way, followed by Brian Chambliss as Matt Horton has pitted. All right, let's see who's going to stay out. Where's Pizzakemi? He's in, so is Sanchez. Sanchez had a sketchy entry. Where's Kraus? Kraus is in. Bessie's in. Hernandez is in. We got Corey Williamson. Corey Williamson's still out on track. He's got his lap back. Go keep an eye on the 33.89 of Matt Horton. He was one who was battling for the leading position. And by virtue of pitting one lap before Harmon and Chambliss, potentially he could end up with a decent lead here, as he's now caught up behind the lap car of TJ Crampton. It's going to get tight. And Thomas Harmon's going to maintain the lead. But Thomas Harmon playing the strategy game there perfectly. Now it's going to be who can look after their tyres the best for this second half of the race. And will lap traffic play a factor in anything? Speaking of lap traffic, there goes the 64 of Jonas Marquez, the pole sitter. Down in 19th, gone a lap down. And Thomas is just trucking along right now, opening up a huge gap between himself and Horton. Just in front of our leader, Mark Pentecoff got into the wall going into turn 3. Like Horton and Chambliss both getting around the lap cars nicely. In fact, it looks like the 64 of Marquez running onto the back of those two. Just to get a little bit of a drafting assistance, maybe stay first car one lap down in case we do get a caution. Go back and have a look at this second pack, see how this has affected them. So we got Kozakemi, Burgess, Lozelle, Campbell, and Sanchez off the back of it. Not a bad little group going on here. But it looks like Kozakemi pulling away from these guys. It's interesting. Gonna go back and have a look at the next pack now. This one's being led by Chris Champeau. We've got Kyle Kraus in it. We've got Alexandra Butters. Butters in P11. James Watson is in this as well. Go check back in on our leaders. And Matt Horton has taken the lead back. Well, we missed the pass for the lead, but the battle's still not over. See, Jonas Marquez wants to stay with this group. Try and make a run out of it. So too is Corey Williamson, actually. So these guys might have slowed up their pace enough to maintain speed with these two lap cars behind them. But that's also going to allow people like Brian Pizzacchemi to catch up to them. See Pizzacchemi just looming there in the background, and he's closing this gap in. So we could very well see another entrant enter this battle. And Horton must have heard me. He's starting to pull away a little bit as the two behind him look like they're starting to battle out. Harmon and Chambliss, we could see a change for second position here soon. As we know how much Chambliss hates being the bridesmaid, but he hates being third even more. Pizzacchemi's just 2 seconds back from these two. Oh, and everything just went bye-bye. Oh, this is not good. This is probably me on my end. But something is definitely terribly wrong. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and I'm going to try and figure this out. And we're back. iRacing crashed on me. Things were going nuts. And Matt Horton is still leading the way. Geez, if it's not me falling asleep on stream and, things going wrong, then, is it really a Aussie Sim commentator broadcast? Matt Horton's leading the way by half a second over Brian Chambliss, who's overtaken for the second position. And these guys have pulled away a little bit from Brian Pizzakemi now, as things are still very, very glitchy here. I think my internet connection is probably a little bit on the fritz. So hopefully we don't lose iRacing again, since we're starting to get into the pivotal part of this race. And a little bit sideways that time was Horton, going through 3 and 4. Saw a little bit of smoke coming off his back tyres. He's been pushing this truck a little bit in this run. But things are definitely getting interesting here for our top three. The battling is only going to get more intense, which means these guys are going to be wearing out the tyres, using up more fuel and everything. And we already saw Matt Horton make a mistake just a lap or two ago. Here comes Thomas Harmon now, looking for a move up on the inside of Chambliss. Does he have the stretch to make it work? He does. The move is made. He's also up on the inside of Horton now. Horton trying to gather the momentum on the outside to maintain the lead. As now we only have 18 laps left to run in this race. Thomas definitely trying to look for that leading pass now. You see him linger on that inside line like he was going to make it work. And Matt Horton still maintains the lead coming out of turn 4. The pressure station is definitely on right now. Thomas around the outside takes it this time. But will Horton be able to have the legs to maintain second? I'm not sure if he does, because Chambliss looking very looming there around the outside. That's how you go from first to third in a couple of short bow swoops. Thomas Harmon already trying to open up a gap between himself and the newly second place Brian Chambliss. And this battle has allowed Pizzacchemi to close in a little bit on these guys once more. Pizzacchemi, who drove away from the second group. And he's already built 1.7 seconds. And you guys, oh, sorry, 0.7 second. I know the ticker across the top says something differently, but I got more accurate software than what sim racing apps is. Now let's have a look at this battle for second, as I do believe Matt Horton has retaken it from Chambliss. And look at the gap starting to form between our top three. We're in the final 10 laps, so it's definitely go time. See who's got what as far as tyres are concerned. Pizzacchemi sitting there in fourth. He has been slowly coming towards these guys, and he's closing in on Chambliss pretty quickly now. As I said, this is the business time of the race. Time to put up or shut up. So if Pizzacchemi wants to get on this podium, he's going to start getting a wriggle on. You see the 13 Travis Massier just behind Pizzacchemi as well. He's actually given him a push here, giving him the draft to catch up to Chambliss. By the end of this race, we could see these guys all back together again. There's 5 laps to go, and all the chance in the world that we could even get a late race caution. There's Pizzacchemi now looking to the outside of Chambliss, trying to gather the momentum, see if he can get the nose up there, and he can. So this is Chambliss's chance now to move up in... Sorry, Pizzacchemi's chance now to move up into third. Chambliss rim riding on the bottom, catfishing, as I like to call it. And he's going to move back to 4th. Now let's see what Pizzakemi can do. He's got 2 seconds to Matt Horton ahead of him. As Horton gets around the limping TJ Crampton. Travis Massier not wanting to get involved in this battle, just sitting in behind Chambliss. Very smart thinking from him. And I think that's going to be as far as Pizzakemi's going to get because of it. If he had went with Pizzakemi around Chambliss, he probably could have pushed him up to a 2nd place. Let's go check in on our leader now. Only got a couple laps left to go. He comes out of turn 4 for the penultimate time. It's a white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for the 38 of Thomas Harmon. And he is just in absolute cruise control mode right now. He is not pushing this thing. He's taking it easy around the bottom. And he is going to cruise to a really nice victory here through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And as he comes onto the front straight, your winner here for the race at Atlanta is going to go the way of Thomas Harmon. P2 is going to go the way of Matt Horton. P3, Brian Pizzakemi. And what a fitting cap to the end of the Jayme Rocks 154 here from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. A race that had a little bit of everything. Some fierce battles. You know, people coming up through the field, making passes. Inside passes, outside passes. A breakaway. A catch-up. And even an iRacing crash. But here's your winner as he's going to start throwing some donuts into it. Avril Lavigne absolutely all over this truck. So we're going to go to a commercial break now. When we come back, we're going to have driver interviews. So make sure you guys stay tuned. All right, we're back, and it's time for our driver interviews. We're kicking things off with our third place getter here today, the one and only Mr. Brian Pizzakemi. Brian, no qualifying strat to the podium has definitely been working out well for you this season, and you pulled it up again here today.
Yeah, this one was actually completely unexpected because I did some testing and I was awful. And in practice, I mean, while I had the fastest lap time, I couldn't keep a consistent run going. So it was very interesting to try and get through the field and not smack a wall.
Well, it definitely looked like it was one of the more difficult kind of races. The truck's been very on edge on fresher tires, and then things just getting a little bit tight as the runs went on. What was it like for you, just trying to figure out, where the grip was as the runs were going on?
As the run progressed, it was starting to look like the kind of the second, third lane. If you could hold that and kind of hold the throttle go out of two, you could get run down the back. But we were all trying to save so much. It was a kind of a give and take on, do you want to take the spot and burn more fuel, or do you want to kind of just ride and make sure you're good to the end? It definitely became a little close towards the end where I came out off pit road. I kind of ended up in no man's land.
And let's talk for a second about this second run, because you were in that big second group that had Sanchez, Burgess, Campbell in it, and you just absolutely drove away from them. Did you save a lot early in that second run so you could drive away from them that little bit, or was it just a little bit of dumb luck?
I I have to say, dumb luck. Just the way I came off pit road, I came out right in front of Burgess, and then I figured the first 5 laps, okay, I need to at least get a gap or cement myself in front. So I kind of burnt up a bunch of my right front and the fuel. But as soon as I had a gap, I started to save more because it looked like the top three were also, well, top three Horton, Harmon, and Chambliss were all saving. It's like, well, if I catch them, I can save more. But if I try to catch them, I burn too much, and then I'm not making it to the end.
Now let's look forward towards next week, Brian. Next week, we're going to be going to Daytona for the road course. What's the feeling like for you heading out to Daytona Road for 25 laps?
Nervous, very, very nervous. I foresee me overshooting turn one a lot.
All right, man. Well, while we got you up here in the booth, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Shout out to you for an awesome broadcast as always. Shout out to the guys and everyone in the league really for one heck of a race. It's been a while since we've had an Atlanta race go completely green without too much incident. Uh, and to reignite the whole Brian battle, hey Chambliss, I beat you again.
The Battle of the Bryans and the Y beat the I. All right, thank you for coming out, Brian. Congratulations on getting P3, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to Daytona Road.
All right, thanks, Corey.
All right, guys, so that was our third place getter, Mr. Brian Chambliss. Coming up next, he didn't just finish second, but he also captured our Hard Charger Award winner and our. Wow. Rude. And our hard charger for today is going to be the 33 of Mr. Matt Horton. Matt, congratulations on coming home in P2 here today and coming home with the Hard Charger Award. How do you feel first and foremost?
Pretty good actually. It was a nice recovery after last week. Getting wrecked on the last lap didn't feel good, so it was definitely nice to come back here with a solid top five. Wish I didn't have to save fuel at the end and could have gave Harmon a run for his money, but yeah, but I'll take second.
All right, now let's talk about the race as a whole. It looked like it was quite the enjoyable race out there, especially for you being out towards the front for the majority of it. What was it like, trying to balance, when to push versus when to save?
The first stint there, I kind of just chilled out. I think I qualified 12th, and I kind of just sat there for like 10 or 15 laps, kind of just letting the people in front of me kind of burn their stuff up. And right around lap 20 of the opening run, I kind of just went, realized I had to save a bit of fuel to make it to halfway if we went green all the way. And at the end there, I was very much in conservation mode, trying to save fuel until about 5 or 10 to go. So that was the strategy there.
All right, now let's look forward towards next week, mate. Next week, we're going to be going to the Daytona Road Circuit. So, what's it like for you hitting the road course at the Daytona International Speedway?
I don't have too much experience there in stock cars. I've done a couple of 24-hour races there, but those cars have a heck of a lot more downforce than these do. So it's definitely really interesting to try and figure out that track, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, Matt, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Oh yeah, shout out to Harmon winning the race. Obviously, Output as the league, the people who make it happen, yourself for broadcasting, and each and every person who comes out every week to race.
All right, thank you very much for coming out, Matt. Congratulations on not just the Hard Charger Award, but P2 as well. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Daytona Road.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next, we are going to have a multi-time champion of the league, and he's definitely in a bit of a resurgence now that we don't have a certain Christian a part of the league, and it's great to see. Wow, he totally just ditched me. Your winner, Thomas Harmon. Just ditch me while I'm trying to introduce you.
What?
Yeah, you totally just ditched me while I was introducing you.
Pulled Horton again.
No, it didn't. I pulled you.
Yeah, you did. Go ahead.
Really? You're fucking kidding me. Oh, what the fuck? There we go. It's just complete disarray now. iRacing crashed on me on lap 75, guys. I mean, I'm flustered. Anyway, it was a great win from you out there today, Thomas. You're towards the front the entire race, and it definitely looked like you had control of it for a lot of it.
Yeah, in the first stint there, I got out and I could have ran away with it some more, but I realized that my fuel was extremely short, so I just backed it up to Horton and Chambliss and drafted off of him to make it to lap 50. Fortunately, I was able to make it to lap 51, have a little extra there at the end, so I could go earlier than those guys. But Chambliss pit with me, so not too much more than him.
I mean, it definitely looked like an interesting kind of strategy race. How hard is it trying to balance the race strategy when you are in fuel conservation mode versus when you just get to go all out?
I'd rather have somebody punch me in the throat than go do a fuel mileage race. I think they're boring. They suck. um, I mean, obviously, I'm at least decent at them, but I'd rather not have to deal with fuel strategy at all.
Well, it's definitely one way to put it. But it was a great win overall. Like you definitely started pulling away from him at the end, obviously with the extra lap of fuel. But what was your tire life like? Because we know that you know Atlanta is definitely one of those tracks that's a little bit harder on tires as well.
The first run, I didn't take a look at the temperatures, but the right front it was down to 40, and then the second stint, obviously we're going a little bit easier, so it was at 45 at the finish, even after burning it down. Granted, burning it down doesn't really melt that right front at all, but it was a little bit better in the second half, so it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either.
All right, Thomas. Now let's look forward towards next week. We're going to be going to the Daytona Oval Road Course. That's a tongue twister. What's the feeling like for you heading out to the Daytona International Speedway to go tackle the road course there?
I just plan to keep it on track and hope for a top 10. That's about all I got going there.
All right, mate. Now, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, shout out to you up at the booth for broadcasting it to all the fans. All the fans that show up and watch each week, all the drivers that race, admins, Jayme for putting on a show, and everyone on the truck.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Thomas. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to Daytona Road.
I'll be there. Have a good one.
All right. See, at least dragging people out of this channel is a lot easier than dragging them into it. I don't have to pay attention to names. Just you go there. Anyway, that is going to end the broadcast. What was a little bit chaotic with iRacing being glitchy and then actually crashing on me, and had a lot of other stuff going on in the background as well. But what a way to end the race here at Atlanta. As I go and try and wow, everything's just going absolutely wrong. So Jayme Rocks 154 is officially in the books. Thomas Harmon with the win, and the point situation right now. If I can bring that one up real quick. Matt Horton leading the way after last round. Matt Burgess in second, Travis Massier in third. These are not updated points from this race, but things are looking pretty tight there in the top. And where the hell is Thomas Harmon? Trying to look for him. And oh, there he is. He's in fifth. So he was at 156 to Matt Horton's 167. So definitely a very close points battle here up the front. 12 points separates the entire top five and coming into this race. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do, because we've got the wild card track next week with it being the Daytona Roval. So until then, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and we'll see you guys at Daytona.